So hi everyone, it's us again, Stephan, aka Cloudguy, and Tracy, aka the ChangeGeek. Hope you watched our first video about Microsoft Forms. Today I will introduce Tracy and you guys to a whole other topic, which is Microsoft Azure. As some of you or most of you may know, Azure is one of the leading cloud service offerings around the globe. And what's pretty cool about Azure is you can start with a few mouse clicks. So before we head over to the different Azure services, just wanted you to see how easy it is to start with Azure. So basically, you just have to go to the Azure product website, and there is this button, Start Free, or on the top right, you can create a free account. And if you click on it, you'll basically get redirected to the page where you want to go. Insert your billing account, credit card information or whatever, and contact information. And if you've done it, you're ready to go. Sign up for Azure and get your Azure tenant working. I won't do that now because I'm already running my own Azure environment.
Are you scared I'm going to steal your credit card details, Stephan? Admit it. Is that what you're scared of?
Well, you could steal my credit card, but there wouldn't be any money on it. So.
Oh, that helps me nothing. Cool.
Yeah. So if you've created your Azure environment, the only URL you have to remember is portal.azure.com, which is basically the new Azure Portal URL, where you can log in either with your work or school account, which is associated with an Office 365 tenant, or you can, if you want, just log in with your Live ID or Microsoft account, which is pretty cool, as you're not bound to any organizational accounts, but you can just use it for yourself, for private use.
That's very cool.
So, as we're in the Azure portal, we get the dashboard presented, and as you can see on the left hand side, you have a couple of favorite services which you can pin to the menu blade. You can customize the menu blade. You can customize your dashboard. And if you click on more services, you'll be presented with all the services which you can use in Azure at the moment. As you may know, you can use Azure for doing infrastructure as a service topics. You can use it as a platform as a service environment, or even as a software as a service environment, where you just run your applications and software services on it. You don't have to mind about the underlying hardware or storage configuration, which is rather cool for doing stuff where you don't wanna mind about have I patched my hardware server the last night, or do we have enough memory or storage in our data center at the moment to deploy a new server? But with Azure, you can just bring up your virtual machines or whatever you want just with a few mouse clicks, which is rather cool. And you only pay for what you do and what you start and run. So if you shut down your services, you won't pay anything for it. So that's a rather cool service offering.
That's great. That's great. I'm quite excited to learn about this today.
Yeah. So as you can see here, we have a lot of services which are categorized in different topics, either storage, web and mobile, databases. But as our form or as our survey, which we talked about in the last video, should be getting a little bit of intelligence, we need to create an intelligence service. So we use the cognitive services suite, provided by Microsoft, which is a rather new service offering where you can easily deploy cool new cognitive services APIs for doing either image recognition stuff, text analytics, or speech analytics. But if you wanna know more about it, just visit my blog, where I try to post new features and update you with the newest services around the AI ecosystem. But now I want to show you how.
Just hold on a second, Stephan. What is your blog address again?
My blog address is www.cloudguy.pro.
Wonderful, great, thank you.
So today I want to show you how easy it is to actually set up such a service. So just click on Create Cognitive Services, where you will be brought to the marketplace, where all services can be added from. And as you can see here, you have a lot of cognitive services APIs already, which you can use, ranging from computer vision up to the speech categories. But we only need the text analytics API, which is currently in preview. Hope they release it or they make it GA in the next months. So just click on Text Analytics API, where you have the legal notice and the short description of what it does, who the publisher is, because not only Microsoft publishes services to the marketplace, but everyone basically can publish their service to the marketplace. You have the useful links like documentation on it, code samples, which is rather cool, as you will be presented with some of the recent stuff the developers are doing from Microsoft. And you can also check the pricing, but we'll see that later on as well. So click on Create, and basically you have only a couple of things to do right here. You have to give the service a name, which is our survey 365, let's call it that way. Hope that's not in use already. You have to select your subscription. I only have one, but if you have multiple subscriptions, Azure subscriptions here, you can deploy the services to different subscriptions and use it there. For example, if you have test dev environments, you can just create your services in a dev environment, and then if you're done developing, just migrate it to a test environment or productive one. Then you have to select your location, which is rather where you want to deploy your service, or which data center should host your service in. For text analytics, as it's only in preview, you can only select West US.
Okay.
But normally for all the others, you would have all the data center and locations there. So the next and last thing we want to do is create a resource group. Resource group is the group where all your services are bundled in for easier management. Because if you think about doing a virtual machine deployment, you all have the storage, you have the virtual network in place and all the other stuff. And if you want to manage it, you can manage it either each service by itself or manage it in a bundle via the resource group, which saves a lot of time.
That's cool.
Yeah, and basically that's it. I want to pin it to my dashboard. Okay, didn't select the pricing tier, what I talked about earlier. For nearly all the cognitive services APIs, you have the free pricing tier available, which is quite cool, as you can do 5K calls per 30 days, which is, I think, enough for testing out services. And for productive use, you have the possibility to choose from S1 to S4, which is basically differentiating in the number of service calls,
Okay.
which you can do on a monthly basis. But we'll stick to the free one, as that should be enough for our survey. Hit create, and now the service will be deployed and created.
That's great, Stephan. So a question from my side is, we know what we're trying to achieve over the next video or 2 or 3 is to create a survey that's got some intelligence behind it, right? So the reason why we're looking at this service today is that we need this service for our next step, right? So the next step would be, just to refresh my memory, so what we'll be doing in the next step.
The next step would be to create a Microsoft Flow, or you can basically create an Azure Logic app as well, where we want to listen to our survey responses, and if someone responds to the survey, the flow gets triggered, and it analyzes the texts or the answers given via this cognitive service to detect the sentiment of the answers.
Okay, cool.
And based on the sentiment, we'll set actions on that.
Cool. Okay.
So what we want to do now, the last point is to make note of our keys, as we need that later on. So basically, just note your keys here and note your name. Copy it somewhere, as we need it in our next video for doing the flow.
Okay, wonderful. That was a lot easier, Stephan, than I thought it would be. I've definitely been a bit scared of letting myself loose in Azure. I think it's important to be wary of things. But that really was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I really enjoyed you taking me through that, and I'm sure that the people watching this would also get a lot of benefit from that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, great. So that's us for today then, is it? And then next up, we've got some exciting stuff in Microsoft Flow. Am I right?
Yep.
Very, very exciting.
Looking forward to it.
Great, Stephan. Thank you so very much for that. Looking forward to meeting up for our next little video where the Cloudgeek teaches the Cloudguy teaches the ChangeGeek some cool stuff, and like I said, I'm pretty sure I'll at some point teach him some geeky stuff as well. Thank you so much, Stephan.
Yeah.